Welcome back to another lesson on our course on Figma. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the usefulness of sharing and comments, or let's say adding comments in a project or in a file. Now, let's turn on Figma and show you how you will know about the usefulness of sharing and commenting. As we've opened up Figma, we're going to do is open up a previously edited file, and then let's see how we can, let's say how we can share it up, collab with other people, and also add in comments according to my need. Now, the first thing you have to do is open up any of the project. Let's say I'm going to open up this one because I've been using this one for my previous lesson, and I've also prototyped quite a lot of it over here, right? So if you've seen my previous lesson, you already know what type of prototypes I've been doing over here. Now, just like I said about this lesson, in this lesson, we're going to learn about the usefulness of sharing and also collabs, and also how we can add in comments. Now, there are a couple of usage of sharing and collabing and also adding in comments. So Figma basically has this advantage, or let's say a feature, that allows you to work on the same project or same file simultaneously, right? And also adding comments helps that specific person to know what you actually want that person to do if you are not, observing it when he is working on it or she is working on it. Now, the thing is, how do you share your file so that you guys can, share it or work on it simultaneously? So the first thing you have to learn is about sharing. And there are a couple of ways of how you can share. Now, when we say about or talk about sharing, you can see on the right top corner, there is this option called share, right? Now, the first thing I'm going to do is click on share. Now, I'm going to be showing you just this way, or you can also, I'm going to show you a different way later on. Now, the first one is going to be select or send the whole thing to that specific person, and also collabing and working simultaneously at the same time. Now, when you want to do that, now you can select a specific person. You have to fix in the email address. So I'm going to choose type in sebastian2947@gmail.com. There we go. Then I'm going to do is keep that specific person. What I'm going to do is, what can that specific person do? Now, if I want that person to edit, I'm going to click on can edit. If I want the person to view, I'm going to click on can view. And if I want that person to see only the prototypes, then I want that person to see the prototypes, okay? But you can see this is how it works. You're going to need this professional version of Figma so that you can give out prototypes too. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I want that person to edit up all of the things which I have over here. Now, another thing is that you can also publish your specific work, just like I showed you in, the first lesson of Figma, where you can also publish your stuffs, and also other people can either buy it or use it and promote to you, or you can also promote your own self. Now, after I put in my email, you can put in a couple of emails and work at the same time. But obviously, make sure that when you're using the free version of Figma, there's obviously going to be a limit on this amount of person can work on your file at the same time, or you can collab at the same time. So what happens is that when you're using the free plan, it's basically 3 people maximum. So you can put in 3 emails so that 3 people can work on it at the same time. Now, you have this option, which is include a short message so they can jump right in it. Now, I'm going to do is put in something. I'm going to do is type in, let's say, I want you to work on it to make it look blue, and let's say I wanted to make it blue, or I want that person to make it blue, and maybe a couple of borders on first 3 pages / frames. Okay. Now, everyone at any team can access this file. Okay, so when you are sending that people so that everyone can edit this file or access this file. Now, what do you want? Okay, when you are putting links, this is the same thing as you worked on Google Drive. Now, if you want only the person who has the link or whom I'm sharing it to can access this file, or anyone with the link and password can access this file, or anyone who gets the link can access this file. So I'm going to suggest you that only people invited to this file, because sometimes if it goes to the wrong person, they can work on it, they can edit your file, and you can just corrupt those files. And so for having that security measurement, I most of the time prefer using this only people invited to this file, so that only the specific people whom I send it to can work on this. And even though I'm the one who's hosting or who's the owner of this page, so if other people sends it to that person, it's not going to work. So make sure to use only people invited, or you can also put in anyone with the link, but you can put in your password if you want to. So when you click on this open with password, you'll basically see that it doesn't work on on a starter or free one. It doesn't work with password protection, but if you buy the professional one and other subscriptions, you will be able to do that. So I'm going to do is keep on only people with the file, and then there is the owner, which is you. Now, another thing is that if you want to share it on, let's say, different social medias, maybe let's say your Messenger, or maybe your WhatsApp, Telegram, you can say Twitter and all of those, you can also just copy the link and then give it to them. But what happens is that if you don't give them the access, it's not going to work. So if you are copying the link and you want everyone to access it, let's say if you want to publish it, you have to make sure that it is on anyone with link if it is free. But if it is not free, you have to click on anyone with a link and password. So when you want other people to get in, edit it however they want to, just make sure that anyone with link, and then you can copy the link and then give it to that specific person. So I'm going to be showing you later on, but the first thing I'm going to do is link to selection. What I'm going to do is click on it. I'm going to do is click on anyone. Okay, so I'm going to do is press on invites, and I'm going to go off to my Gmail. You can see invited one person who can edit that. Okay, you can also fix up, you can also resend the invite, remove it whenever you want to, so that's like up to you. Now, as I've sent in my invitation, I'm going to go off to my web browser and show you how this basically functions. Okay, so I'm going to do is open up my web browser right now. You can see my web browser has been opened. I'm going to click on gmail.com, hit on enter. It'll take a bit of a time to open it up. You can see my Google Workspace is working. Then I'm going to do is make sure to select the other profile I have, or other account which I have. I'm going to do is reduce this size so that I can show you how this basically functions. Now you can see Oni has invited you to edit the file. I'm going to click on that option. Then you'll basically see how it functions. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to just click on open in Figma. Now, when I click on open in Figma, as this is a web-based, or just like I said about Figma, as this is a web-based account, or let's say web-based software, it's going to work just the way you do it. Now, if I click on this option, you can see it over here that Harold, or the account name, is also working on my screen in Figma. So let me just cut off this part. Okay, my account over here is named Harold. Now look at the screen over here. I'm going to do is click on this onboard. Okay, so I'm going to do is click on this option. You can see the Harold screen is over here. So this is basically how you can work on that specific thing simultaneously. Now the first thing is that when I told that specific person, I'm going to go off the Gmail again. I'm sorry, I removed it. Now what it says is that I have to make it a bit blue. Okay, successfully, you have successfully deleted Oni-chan's team, or Oni's team. So I'm going to do is go over there and see which account I'm using. I'm going to go back. You can see removed. I'm going to go back over there to is increase the size. There we go. I'm going to do is go back over here. I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to do is get over here. Cut this off. And just like I said, I want you to work on it to make it look blue, and a couple of borders on the first 3 pages are frames. So I'm going to do that over here. I'm going to cut this one off. I'm going to do is reduce the size, and I'm going to do is increase it. Just like I said, I want that specific person or specific layer to be blue, right? So I'm gonna do is make sure that it is a bit over here. I'm gonna do is make sure this is a bit smaller and this is a bit larger over here. I'm gonna do is make sure that this one is a bit more better. I'm gonna do is increase the size a bit. Cut this one off. I'm gonna do zoom in so that I can see how this specific page is gonna work. Do is make it a bit blue. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna do is click on that specific item which I have over here. I'm gonna do is change it. You can change it whenever you want. The first thing I'm gonna do is turn this blue. You can see the color is also changing on my software. I'm gonna remove it, and there we go. I'm gonna do is click on 80. There we go. Now it is a lot better. You can select the local variables. You can export it, import it. You can see, click on colors. Okay, I'm not gonna use any of those because I'm gonna do is just keep it however I want it to be. I'm gonna do is remove this first. I'm gonna do is click on that layer. I'm gonna do is change this color to into blue, just like I said. See, I want it a bit lighter so that it looks good. So there we go, we have it over here. I'm gonna just take this one off. You can see if I do this over here, it will also change the same thing on my web browser. So I'm gonna open up my web browser. You can see my object has been changed, right? I can remove it from here. You can see it is working simultaneously at the same time. Okay. So I'm going to do is keep this just the way it is. I'm going to do is change the other one. So I'm going to do is click on this specific option over here. I'm going to do is change the color over here. I'm going to do is click on that option, selection of colors. I'm going to do is change it into this one. There we go. I'm going to do is one thing. I'm going to do is copy this code, Control C, so that I can use it on the other ones. There we go. I'm going to do is click on the skip option, just this text. I'm gonna do is click on this, paste it, V. There we go. We have the color changed. Do the other ones over here. I'm gonna do is click on this option over here. Click on this V. Hit on enter. Okay, this is not the color, so I'm gonna do is click on that option over here. Control C. I'm gonna do is do the same thing over here. Control V. Hit on enter, and there we go. The color has been changed. Now select this text over here. Do the same thing, Control V, hit on enter. There we go, the color has been changed over here too. I'm gonna do the last one here. Select this, hit on enter. I'm gonna go down over here, paste it up, hit on enter. And even if I go on the right, you can see all of them has changed at the same time. And you can see Harold, or what that person is doing and what is he working on. So that is basically the advantage of using Figma and how a person can work on it simultaneously, because you can see it too. Even if you're not seeing it, you will be able to see the changes whenever you want. But if you're working at the same time, you will basically see how he's working on it. So it doesn't matter which country you're in or how far you are, you will obviously be able to see or recruit people so that they can work on that specific file or specific site or kit they're working on. Now, I'm going to do is put in a border. I'm going to do select this specific frame, which I have. Click on onboarding. You can see it the way it is. I'm going to just click on this option over here. I'm going to just make sure that this is no outline. I'm going to just select on this. Then I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to go over here. Now, wherever you want it to fix, that's like up to you. Then I want it to see that I'm going to just click on outside of this. There we go. Looks a lot more better. You can see the content. All the contents are over here. I'm going to just click on that specific option over here. Let's take it out over here. Take this one over here. What I'm going to do is take this. around over here. There we go. We have it. I'm gonna just take this one over here and take this one, or keep it around over here. There we go. So here we have it. I'm gonna just click on this onboarding, line which we have over here. I'm gonna just take this one over at the top if you want to. You can keep it wherever you want. And also keep it the way you want it to be. I'm gonna just right click on it. I'm gonna do is make sure that it is at the top. So I'm gonna just bring it forward. There we go. We have it. Let's see on our web browser. Now you can see how it works. What I'm gonna do is you can click on that specific option. You can put in strokes, just like I said. I'm gonna put in a couple of borders. Not on this one. I'm gonna do is increase the size. There we go. I'm gonna put in a bit of border on the 3 of them. This is how it will look like. Center. Put in a bit of red. There we go. We have it on the first one. Next one, I'm gonna do that over here. This is going to be choose service. I'm going to do is make sure to choose service, not this one. The other one, which we have over here, choose service over here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do is click on stroke. There we go. There we go. We have the last one. Then I'm going to do is click on choose service and the last one. I'm going to do is go off the stroke. I'm going to do is click on this over here. Then I'm going to do is increase this or change the color. There we go. So there is done over here. And as this is also working at the same time, I'm going to just cut this off. I didn't want it. And you can see all of the edits has been applied on our specific pages or frames over here on the 3 of these pages. So now you know about the usefulness of collaborating and sharing. Now, one thing is that if you add in a comment over here, let's say I'm going to do is make it green. I'm going to do is make sure to click on this. I'm going to do is type in make it black. There we go. Now this is going to be green and it's going to be black, right? I'm going to do is go off to my web browser again. So now when I opened up my web browser, you can see that there is 2 of these options that are appearing. You can see what I added in as, my comments. You can see make it green 1 minute ago. And on the other one, we also have another one, which is make it black. So I'm going to do is make them black and green. At the same time, I'm going to do is click on onboarding, which you have over here. What I'm going to do is go off the stroke and I'm going to do is make it green, just like it said. Just make it green. Okay, somewhere around green this is. Then I'm going to do the next one, which is choose the service, not this one, choose service 1. I'm going to do is make it black. So I'm going to go off to stroke. And I'm going to do is make it black. There we go. Cut this off. I'm going to do is now I can minimize this. And there we go. We have the changes over here. This is black and this is green. And even though that person is working on this one, that is why it has this red outline. So hope you understood everything about this lesson on the usefulness of sharing and also collabing and also adding in comments. And you can see that you will also be able to apply in comments from your web browser if the other person, adds in something. So I'm going to do is click on this comments over here. Let's say I'm going to do is I want the person to say it is done. I'm going to do is minimize this, or I'm going to do is keep it over here, and you can see that person, it is done. That person has specified it that it is done, and you said make it green. So hope you understood everything about this lesson, and if you didn't understand a part, please let us know and we'll guide you through the whole process. In our next lesson, we're going to learn about on a very important thing in Figma, which is going to be columns and grids, because it's going to help you a lot when you are working on it and aligning specific objects or components in your file. So without any further ado, let's just hop on to our next lesson. Welcome back to another lesson on Figma. Now in this lesson, we are going to learn about columns and grids and customization. So without any further ado, let's just jump into the lesson by opening up Figma. As we've opened up Figma, now the first thing we have to do is open up a new file, because we are going to be making grids and columns, right? So I'm going to do is click on design file, click on any of these only team or whichever one you want from draft if you want to. Now the first thing we're going to do is click on layers. Now there is going to be 2 pages which I'm going to be using. Let's say page 2. Yeah, that's totally perfect. Now in page 1, I'm going to do is click on this option frame, and you can use whichever one you want, such as TV, wireframe, desktop, or maybe other ones. You can see that there are a couple of resolutions which you can fix from. So from here, I'm going to do is just click on desktop if you want to. And page 2, I'm going to do is make my own frame. Okay, this is going to be my frame. I'm going to go off to page 1, which is also frame 1. Okay, now in this page 1, there is desktop. Now in this desktop, I'm going to do is make in my grid, right, where I can. Now what we're going to do is click on this option, and you have this option over here called layout grid. You can also see this auto layout option. You can fix it up if you want to. What I'm going to do is remove this and go off to our layout grid. Okay, I'm going to click on this option, and you can see all of this grid option over here. Now the first thing we're going to do is click on this option. You can fix it up however you want to. You can make it visible or not visible. It's up to you. You can fix out more grid. It's totally up to you how you're going to work with it. Now there is this clip content option. You can fix it up from over here. We can click on this option and select the grid styles. Now whatever you want to create, you can click on show more options and fix it up according to your desire. You can fix it up, you can add more and more, and you can also create a style. Click on create style, click on grid option. You can remove it if you want to, you can add it up. Now here what I'm going to do is click on this, right click on this option. Then you're going to do select columns, rows, and grid, whichever one you want. So let's start off with grid and finish all about the grid options. Now in this grid option, now you can fix the size. Let's say I want 20, hit on enter, and you can see this is now 20, right? If you want to change the color of that grid, you can change the color of that grid by changing the color from over here. You can fix it the transparency. You can see like this. You can also decrease the transparency so it just goes off, Then you can also change other colors. It's totally up to you. You can see it like this, but I most of the time prefer keeping it up from 11 to 15 because, it gives off the best ones. It's a bit visible too. It's not that invisible either. What I'm going to do is keep it around over here and keep it just like this. You can also fix the transparency just the way you want it. And after you're done, you will be able to see the grid lines. Now, if you want to see more of it, right click on it. Let's say I'm going to type in 30. You can see there are more spaces now. Now, what happens is that when you are applying a shape, let's say I'm going to do is click on ellipse. Just apply in the shape over here. And then you can fix out the size by clicking on them. There we go. I'm going to just take this around over here. And you can fix out the grids. You can see this is up till here, this is up till here. I'm going to do the same thing, click on this option over here. Let's say I'm going to do is make something at the center. I'm going to use grid line, use the grid line so that I can fix in the size. There we go. Totally perfect. You can see it's up over here, and it's also touching this grid and also this grid. So now you know how this also works. All this grid works in Figma. Now, if I say that I'm going to do is click on this grid option, I'm going to do is add in another grid. I'm going to click on this desktop option over here. Click on this grid option, which we have, right click on it. Let's say I'm going to type in 25. There we go. It's still not, that correct. So I'm going to do is fix it up. Maybe a bit on this, maybe a bit to the left, or maybe to the bit to the right. And you can see it is now totally perfect. So now you know about how the grid works in Figma. Now let's go off to the other one, which is rows and columns. Now how are we going to do that? The first thing you're going to do is click on desktop one, which is over here. I'm going to go off on this grid option and right click on it, and you can fix out the columns. You can see there is this column option now. Now you can see that there are a couple of segments inside this specific frame. Okay. Now inside the specific frame, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I'm going to do is click on this desktop. I'm going to click on the column count. What I'm going to do is type in 6, hit on enter. You can see that there is another column extra. If I type in 10, there's 10 column extra. If I type in 2, there's going to be 2 columns and 1 in the segment as 1 in the middle. Type in 1, there's going to be just 1. If I type in 20, hit on enter, and you can see that there are a couple of columns that has been created and also looks better. Now you can also get a preview of it and see how it looks like in presentation, even though the shapes might not be visible or might be visible. Okay, but you can see that there is no color. So I'm going to do is increase the size and see how it looks like. I'm going to do is, well, basically the rows and columns are not that visible because this just helps you to grid it up, to fix out the size, align the objects. That is why it's not visible like how you see it when you are working on it. So you have to keep that thing in mind. Now I'm going to go through the other tools or other stuffs which we have over here on, our grids and columns and rows. Now I'm going to use apply in more objects. I'm going to use, let's say I'm going to use add in a star. I'm going to just click on this over here. I'm going to go off the grid and fix it up according to my need. So I'm going to click on this option. I'm going to remove this because I don't need it right now. I'm going to click on desktop one. I'm going to use right click on it. So I'm going to use go off the grid, which is 25 over here. Now you can see that this is not totally perfect. So I'm going to use increase the size of this. Zoom in. You can see perfectly placed. There we go. We have it. And this is how it will look like. Okay. So hope you understood everything about this. I'm going to use make sure this is do not hold on to shift. Make sure to hold on it. And there we go. You can see this matches this line. And also this one, just like this. But why isn't this one, touching that? Because, the stars have the top one to be a bit longer than the ones which we have on the other ones. Okay, let's say I'm going to just take it right over here. There we go. Looks a lot better. Okay. I'm going to do is apply in a couple more shapes. I'm going to do is click on frame, or maybe click on this option. Click on polygon. Maybe I'm going to do is add in a shape over here and make sure to touch a line. There we go. What I'm going to do is make sure that it hits up this line and hits up this line at the same time. You can see this is not totally perfect because this one doesn't match this up. So I'm going to do is take this one over here. There we go. We have it over here. Totally perfect. I'm going to just take this one at the top. Okay, I'm going to just, cut this one off a bit. Up till this line. I'm going to just take this one either at the top or either at the middle. So it's like totally up to you how you're going to work with it, okay? Okay, there we go. We have it. Now you can see this. You can fix out the radius. You can fix out if it should be round or if it should be, a bit round or maybe pointy. So I'm going to just keep it like this, even though it is still working. I'm going to just keep it around over here so it looks good. Okay, and if I keep it to be like this, you can see it matches it up. Okay, even if it doesn't, just make sure to remove it and keep it aligned to the grids. I'm going to just click on this desktop app again. You can go off to grids, as we have done with grids. We can go off to columns again. Then you can do the same thing over here by selecting which color you want. You can also fix out which transparency. Let's say I'm going to type in 60. There we go. We have 60 over here, but I don't want that. Just remove it. There we go. Then you can select what type of column do you want. Now I'm going to click on stretch, which is already always applied. Now if I want a center, I can also keep it center aligned. Now what if I want it on the right side? You can see all of them are on the right side. If I want them on the left side, just click on left and all of them will go to the left side. Okay, so starting 20 from the left side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 from the left. If I type in 40, hit on enter, you can see it has most probably filled it up. Okay, yes it did. So 40 from the left or right, it's totally up to you. But if we keep it like stretched, you can see all of them will be on, let's say, fit to screen. So 40 of them are now inside of the specific frame which we have over here. You can fix the width. Now let's say I'm going to do is click out on center. Now if I'm going to do is I want the width to be 25, hit on enter, or 23. Now I want the width to be 12. You can see the 12 width. Now I can also keep it 40. You can see all of them are now a bit fatter. I can fix the offset too. Now you have to keep it on the left or right to fix out the offset. Now I want the offset to be, let's say, 5 from each other, or let's say the offset from the left to be 5. I want the offset to be 20, hit on enter. You can see the offset 20. I'm going to just cut this off to type in 12. You can see now the offset 20. I'm going to type in offset 12, the offset to be 14, offset to be 40. You can see the 40 offset over here. So this is basically how it works. So 40 from here will be removed, or from here will be removed. So the last one we have is gutter. I'm going to do is keep it on stretch. I'm going to do is keep it to be 30. Now I want gutter, so I'm going to do is type in gutter to be 34, hit on enter. You can see the 34 gutters has been added over here. You can see a couple of them, the gaps. You just type in 21. There we go. The gutter is now changed. Now if I want it to be maybe 4, hit on enter, you can see that there is really less space. So these are the gutters. You can fix the margins. Like I'm going to type in 23. You can see that there is a bit of margin in there. And if I want the gutter to be 9, there's going to be a bit more space. So now you know about how the columns work in Figma and how you can work up with it, or you can also fiddle with a couple of tools which you have here on Figma, and these margins, grids, rows, and column tools. Now the last one which you're going to see is going to be rows. Well, the rows is going to be quite the same. So from here, you're going to do is click on the count. You can fix out the count, whichever one you want. You can fix out auto if you want to. But here I'm going to do is click on rows and not auto. I'm going to do is type in 5, hit on enter. You can see that there is a bit of more space on these ones instead of these ones. It's because of the margins, okay? What I'm going to do is click on over here. I want it to be 19. Now I want it to be stretch. That's totally perfect. Now from here, I'm going to do is type in 0. There we go. And the gutter, I want it to be 20. There we go. We have it. And you can see most of them look quite aligned to each other. No one or none of them have like more space or less space than the other. So if you are working with this rows, columns, and grids, make sure to fix it up according to your need and also perfectly so that it looks better when you are working or putting in elements. So most of the time, I prefer using the grids instead of the other ones. You can see because it allows you to align your objects, like align to the lines over here. So hope you understood everything about this lesson. And if you feel like you didn't understand a part, or if you have any questions related to this lesson, make sure to let me know, because I will obviously be there to help you up so that you can understand all about these objects or these tools in Figma and how those actually function. Now you can also, when you are done editing and you have nothing selected, you'll basically see this grid style option. You'll be able to fix in the grid style and what you wanted to say, what is the description, you can fix it up. You can see if you want it to be visible or not, so you can see it over here. But we don't have any object selected. I'm going to do select on this option. I'm going to do click on minus, and you can see that there's a minus. No grids. Press on Control Z, and it will appear up in just a moment. You can also apply in grids. If you try over here, you can apply in strokes, basically not grids. So what is that you can apply in strokes from here. You can apply inside or outside. It's up to you. You can apply in effects like drop shadow, maybe other effects. We're going to go through that later on. Now, I hope you learned everything in this lesson, and if you don't understand a part, just like I said, please let us know. And you can also fix out more grid options over here. And let's move on to our next lesson, where we are going to learn about the usefulness and color or color management. Welcome back to another lesson on our course of Figma. In this lesson, we are going to learn about color inspiration, color palette, and the eyedropper tool. So without any further ado, let's just hop onto the lesson on Figma and open it up. You can see that I have opened up Figma on my screen. Now, what is the first thing I'm going to do is go off to the community, and there is this extension which I'm going to use. So let me just show it to you how it works. I'm going to click on Explore Community, and there I'm also going to show you a couple of sites where you will be able to use those interfaces and use those sites to get out your own type of color palette, or maybe your inspiration and all of those. Now, when you go over here like on the community, when you just go down and you have this kit, which is your UI kit called Terraform. Okay, now you can take out this Terraform if you want to, or you can also use other other kits so that you can take the color or get the inspiration from. Because when you are presenting any kit or any file, color plays a really important role, because it has to be eye-catching if you want other people, or if you want to gain the attention or seek the attention of other people. So I'm gonna do is take this Terra kit form, or UI kit. I'm gonna do is open in Figma. I'm gonna wait for a while, and I'm gonna wait until this Terra kit form or Terraform UI kit is opened up on my Figma workspace. So it has loaded up, and now you can see that we have this cover, credit, introduction, token, components, and then file assets, whatever you want over here. Okay, now from here on components or tokens, there is this color palette over here, or this whole page, which you can copy it up and use it up as taking as a palette. Okay, or you can use it as a palette. Now you can see you will also be able to select specific color palettes from over here and use it for your own work. What I'm going to do is take this whole thing off. I'm going to do is press on Control C. I'm going to go off to my home, and I'm going to do is get onto the untitled, which I already have over here. Then I'm going to do is go off to page 2. I'm going to do is take this or delete it. Frame 1. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to do is just delete. I'm going to paste this over here. You can see that I have my color palette over here. Now, this is not just the one which I need, so I'm going to do is also take this whole thing off. I'm going to go is take it for the first page. There we go. We can see it. Now we can see that we have our palette over here. You can see the shades and all of those. Now I can also use this to make up the color palettes. I'm going to do is click on this option. Click on this tool, click on this option, and you can select whichever color you want from over here. Let's say I'm going to want to use this. There we go. The color has been added. If I want to change the color over here, I'm going to click on this option, click on this eyedropper, and I can use whichever color I want. I'm going to click on this option, click on this, click on the eyedropper. I'm going to do is use maybe this one over here. The last one I'm going to do is take this. I'm going to do is click on the eyedropper. I'm going to do is use this. So basically what happens is that I have 4 of these shapes, exactly by using our eyedropper tool and coloring them up. Even though this is just, let's say a resource which I'm using right now. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is going to be, let's say, going off to a couple of sites which I most of the time use for my color inspiration and also our color palette. So go off to your web browser. You can see that I'm on my web browser, Opera GX. Now from here, I'm going to do search for color hunt. Hit on enter and you can see color hunt, color palette for designers and artists over here. Now, one thing from here is that you can select specific colors. You can take the specific codes and then paste it up from there. Okay, you can open it up, check it a bit more. It's up to you. You can also download the image if you want to. Well, we're going to show it to you later on. And there's going to be another site, which is going to be Adobe Colors. And you're going to do is adobecolor.adobe.com. You're going to open it up and you're going to do is explore all the colors which you have. Now, one thing about this Adobe Color is that you can fix up your own color palette according to your desire. So you can see this is the color you can use. You can see whenever you change the color, it's going to give you the other colors which match up with that tone. So you don't have to worry about it. You can just take it, change it. You can see this is how it will look or look good. You can see this is how the color patterns change. You can use the, picker tool or eyedropper tool and select all these colors over here. It's like totally up to you. Now, one thing about this is you can also extract themes. You can drop your icon or drop your file and it will give you what type of color you should use for your item or for your component. Now, there is also extract the gradient. It also helps you in such a way so that you can, extract whatever type of gradient you should use or suggested searches or suggested color palettes you will be able to use for your design or for your component. Now, there is also this accessibility tool, which you can do is fix out the text color and the background color, but we're not going to use that anymore. I'm going to go after the color wheel or go after explore. Now, when you go after explore, you will basically find out a lot of colors which you'll be able to use and what type should be used in this specific photo or specific elements. You can go through them. You can download as JPEG so that you can use it whenever you want, so that you can see in this photo over here only these color palettes or this color palette is used. So you can select whichever one you want. Let's say I'm going to do is I'm going to download this, download as JPEG. I'm going to do is add into library. You have to first off sign up, make sure to use whichever one you want. So here I'm going to do is continue with my Google. Now when I hit on this download as JPEG, you can see this is downloaded. Now, you can also go off the trends and find out whichever type of inspiration you want. One thing or one of the most advantageous thing about this adobe.com or colors.adobe.com is that it gives you a solid color, or let's say the solid colors which are being used in that specific photo. Even though you can see in a couple of other, websites, there's just going to give you colors, but it also gives you, a preview of what colors are being used and how it will look good. So, and another one is this color hunt. There is, categories of color palettes which you will be able to use. You can see from here, you can select the pastel type of colors. If you want something vintage, you can go off the vintage type of colors. You can go off the retro type of colors. You can go off the neon type of colors. It's up to you. So in neon, I'm going to do is make sure to download this or maybe use the hex code. So let's try off by adding in our palette first. You can see over here, I'm going to do is click on this option over here. I'm going to do is click on place image. Now from here, I'm going to do is select this, open, and there we go. We have our color palette, our color pattern, which we're going to use. I'm going to do is keep it right around over here, which you'll be able to use. Now I'm going to do is go off to my web browser again and paste in 5 of these photos. So I'm going to download 5 of the palettes, which I'm going to be using. Also, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to download as JPEG. I'm going to do is maybe, so you can see over here that if you want fashion, there's categories. You can use these type of patterns or these type of palettes. If you are doing graphic designing, you can use these. You can view more. So I'm going to click on view more as we are doing a bit of graphic designing. So let's say I'm going to do is maybe use this. This looks good. Okay, 2. We are done with 2. Now I'm gonna do is maybe we'll take this. Okay, this looks a bit too, same. Click on this. There we go. We're done. Now let's see the other ones which we have. We have illustrations. You can use that. I'm gonna use download this one. Looks really good, to be honest. Now you have UI UX, which is one of the main part which we're doing is UI UX. So I'm gonna do is maybe use this. This also looks like the Italian flag, or maybe the flag of France. Okay, now I'm gonna do is take another one, which is going to be this one. Okay, there we go. We're good to go with all of them. I'm gonna do is minimize it. I'm gonna do is click on this option over here, click on place image. I'm gonna do is select on this color over here, press on open. There we go. We're done with that part. I'm gonna do is use this one over here, place image. There we go. We are done with this one. I'm gonna do is take this one over here, press on open. I'm gonna go to the right. There we go. We have another one. I'm gonna do is click on place image again. Do is go down, and this time I'm gonna use this. Press on open. There we go. Click on this again. Place image. I'm gonna do is take this, or maybe this. Well, both of them looks quite the same, so I'm gonna do is just take one of it. And I'm gonna do is take the last one, which is going to be this one. Just like I said, this looks like the France, flag of France. You can see. So we have the color palettes which we are going to be using. Now I'm going to just take them in such a way so that I can use it whenever I want. I'm going to just take this over here and take the last one right over here. There we go. Looks all good. Now I'm going to do is take in the patterns. If you can, take in whatever you want to or however you want to. You can use out that color palette if you want to. Let's say you can take up these elements too at the same time. You can see how it looks like. I can click on this desktop one and use or change all of it or move it whenever I want it to move. Just take it right over here so that I can get access to all the palettes at the same time. Even if it's not that visible, just take one of the palettes down here. There we go, which looks a lot more better. So you can see all of the elements all at once. There we go. So I'm going to just click on this option over here, click on fill. Now another thing, I'm going to go off to my web browser. Now I want to use a specific color palette from my web browser from Color Hunt. So I'm going to go off to my web browser and use hex codes. Now I'm on my web browser again. Now, just like I said, I'm going to be using neon, right? So I'm going to do is take this copied. I'm going to do is take that one. I'm going to do is paste this one. I'm going to do is click on it. So I'm going to cut this off. Press on Control V, hit on enter, and can you see this color has been added? I'm going to do is click on 100. I'm going to do is first off click on, just select on this desktop. I'm going to do is make sure this is fulfilled. I'm going to do is remove it. You can see how it looks like. And I'm going to do is take the other one, which I have over here. I'm going to do select on this, and I'm going to do is take another, hex code, which I have. I'm going to do is take this one this time. I'm going to go off to Figma again. I'm going to do is paste this one over here, cut this off, Control V, hit on enter. You can see this is applied. I'm going to go off to my web browser again. I'm going to do is take this one this time, copied. I'm going to do is click on this option over here, remove, Control V, hit on enter. And do the last one, take this and copy it over here. Control V, hit on enter. And you can see that my elements are of the same color palette. Now I'm going to do is apply a couple of shapes over here. I'm going to just make this one over here. Press on Alt so that I can copy this up over here. Just copy another one over here. There we go. I'm going to do select on this color. I'm going to do is take this. I'm going to do is select on this color option. I'm going to do is take this option over here. I'm going to do is maybe use this one. This. Do is select on this color option. I'm going to do is click on this hex or this eyedropper. I'm going to do select on this. Click on this color, eyedropper. Click on white. I'm going to do is make a couple more of these, There we go. I'm going to do Alt. There we go. I'm going to click on this option, click on this color palette. What I'm going to do is click on this color over here. I'm going to just do the last one. Click on this option over here, click on color palette. I'm going to do is use this color. So we have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors by using our color palette. Okay, I'm going to do is right click on it. And do is make sure to move to page or bring to front. You can see how it looks like. So hope you understood everything about this lesson on color palettes, color inspiration, and also, eyedropper tool. So now you know where you can find the eyedropper tool or wherever it is. You have to just click on the colors which you have, click on the color option, and you will basically have this eyedropper tool. And you also have this hex code. If you want to use RGB codes, you can also use RGB codes. You can also use CSS. You also have HSL and also HSB. So it's like totally up to you which color or what type of color you want to do or want to work with. Okay. And just like I said, you can also use this really basic, UI kit, which I opened up, which is the name of Terraform UI kit. And it is also quite helpful when you're working with it because, couple of times I used it because, it has a couple of colors which I can, blend it up on, use it whenever I want to. But if you want better, color palettes, color, inspirations, you can go off to the web browser and use whichever one you want. And even though in Color Hunt there's this popular, what is popular in the specific month, in the specific year, or all time. So in this month you can see that this is the specific color that is quite popular, and people are liking it more because it is based on the likes and reviews what people are giving every time. Then of the year is going to be this one, which received like 21,000 likes and 226. And of all time is this one, which has been uploaded 8 years ago, and it still has 61,000 likes. Okay, so it's going to be based on what type of color you're trying to search for. If you want any random generator, just click on random and it will give you random colors, but you don't have to worry because it's going to give you like really good colors which you can use it. And if you want anything specific generical, you can just go off to Adobe or colors.adobe.com, and here you have what type of colors you can use for what type of work. As in, you can see for architecture you can use these type of colors, and if you want more, just click on more. If you want some game design, just go off over here. You can use whichever color pattern you want. If you want wilderness, these are the ones. Then flavors, then we have travel, and there's obviously other stuff like illustration, graphic design, fashion, and all of them. And you can also search for colors and modes and also add to your library so you don't lose any progress or lose that specific palette. And one thing you have to keep in mind that whenever you're doing this work, make sure to save those palette up so that you can use it later on. And also make sure to stay connected to the internet and also stay connected with your account. So hope you understood everything about this lesson. And if you have any questions or if you didn't understand any part, please let us know and we'll guide you through the whole process. And feel free to ask us any questions. So let's move on to our next
Welcome back
to another course lesson on Figma. In this lesson, we are going to be learning on, or let's learn about gradients. Now, in our previous lesson, we most of the time showed you about solid color and all of those. But this time, we're going to show you all about the gradients option and all the functionality Figma has to offer with gradients. So you can see that I have opened up Figma, right? Now, from our Figma, what we're going to do is open up the previous file which we had. I'm going to do is click on this, and it will open up in just a second, okay? And we also have a couple of these palettes which we can use. Now, the first thing we're going to do is go off to page 2. I'm going to do is remove this, delete. I'm going to do is make a couple of, let's say, frames. Click on frames. This time I'm going to use a mobile frame. Let's use a couple of them. Click on frame again. Let's say I'm going to use make a couple of them. Control C, Control V. Okay, we have 4 of these frames, right? What we're going to do is put 4 shapes on 4 of these frames. Then we're going to do is apply in our gradients. Now, the first thing we're going to do is go off to our shapes. Now let's start off with our star tool. I'm gonna do is make our star, make sure this looks perfect. So I'm gonna do is make it look perfect. Now, how do you apply the color? Obviously, we select it. I'm gonna do is go off the fill, right? Now, obviously, we're also going to use some references and where you get the inspiration. We're gonna use a website called Gradients. We're gonna go through that later. But first I'm gonna do is apply in a couple of these shapes. Let's say this time I'm gonna use a polygon. There we go, we have our polygon. Then the next one is going to be our ellipse. And the last one we're going to apply is going to be a rectangle. So I'm going to go off to the last frame, hold on to shift, and there we go, we have our rectangle. So I'm going to do is keep it this way so it looks good. There we go. Now, the first thing we're going to do is start off adding this. You can also make it, fix the ratio according to your need. Let's say if you want it like this, you can keep it just the way you want it. Now, I'm going to do is click on this option, and I'm going to do is click on this fill option. Click on this fill option, and you have these couple of, tools which you can use. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that it is on hex, and click on this option, which is called gradients. Now, when you click on gradients, you will be able to apply gradients according to your need. You can also delete it. You can also see that there are mainly two colors which you'll be able to apply. Now, the first thing we're going to do is open up a website which is called Gradients on your web browser. So I'm here on my web browser. Let's search for Gradients. I'm going to do is click on Gradients, and there we go. So this is the site where you can find out couple of gradient, tools, or let's say gradient colors which you'll be able to apply. Let's say I want to use this specific color. So you can just click on plus, you can apply in colors over here. You can see the degrees too of the specific color. You can see how it works. Now I'm going to do is select on copy CSS. Now I'm going to go off to my Figma. And as I'm on Figma, what I'm going to do is from here, I'm going to click on CSS. I'm going to do is paste this over here, press on enter, and you can see the color has been applied. You can see it like this. You can fix in more colors according to your need and change the color wherever you want it to be. But this is still not working, right? So you have to select specific colors. Let's say I'm going to do select on this specific color, which you have over here. Get on hex. And I do is cut this off, which you have to do is select the specific color, which you have. Let's say on the first one, I'm going to do is select a specific color by selecting it from our web browser. I'm going to do select on this. You can see the color code. I'm going to use copy. I'm going to do paste it on my Figma. I'm going to do is make sure to select this one over here. Control V. Hit on enter. You can see the color has changed. And the next one I'm going to do is apply another one. I'm going to do select this one. Copy it. Control C. Minimize it. Paste it over here. Enter. You can see this is the color. Select the third one. Okay, make sure to select or paste it perfectly. You can see it like this. And the third one we're going to do is take another one. Here I'm going to do is select on this color. Copy this code, Control C. And paste it up right over here. Enter, and you can see 3 of the colors has been applied. What I'm going to do is take it a bit at the top so it's visible. Take it a bit over here. Take it a bit over here. You can also fix the angles if you want to. Let's say I'm going to do start off from here. Just take it a bit over here, and there we go. Now, I'm going to do is make sure to select the other one. You can see the gradient has been applied. And it looks quite good, right? We're going to do the same thing on the other ones, which we have is this rectangle or triangle and our ellipse. Now, click on this ellipse if you want a rounded corner. Make sure to use this option. You can also fix up, the counts if you want to. You can fix it up. You can see like this, and you can fix the count. This is 3. And you can also fix up other counts. You can see there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and also make sure whichever one you have to use. And I'm going to keep it on count 3 because that is what a specific rectangle is. Do the same process. I'm going to click on this option over here. Make sure to click on gradients. Now this time I want to use 5 colors. Yes, you can do that. Click on here over here for 5. Okay, there's 5 colors now. I'm going to select on this one. Make sure to copy that one. Now I'm going to do is click on the ones which I want to use. Now you can see most of them are 2. Okay, I'm going to do is, you can see fallback BGC. You can download it up according to your need. Now I'm going to do is go off to other ones. You can also do that. Let's say from here, I want to apply maybe, okay, let's just go, okay, we're going to use this, okay? I'm going to do is select this, Control C, minimize this, paste it up, hit on enter, you have this color. Do the second one, remove it, delete. I'm going to go off to that website. I'm going to do is select on this, Control C, paste it up over here, enter, do the next one. Okay, now this one I'm going to do is delete, press on delete and that will be deleted. Just remove this. I'm going to do is select on the next color which I have, Control C. Let's just, minimize the size so that I can use it. Just take it right over here. Just paste it over here. Hit on enter. You can see the third color has been added. I'm going to just drag it a bit down. Drag it a bit down over here. And just apply in a different color. Let's say here I'm going to do is, instead of that, I'm going to just apply in, let's say, a bit of yellowish. And the last one I'm going to do is use a bit of reddish. There we go. Looks quite good, right? 5 of them at the same time. What I'm going to do is make sure this is a bit angled. There we go. We have it. I'm going to do is select on the other tool. And there we go. We have 2 gradients on 2 of these shapes. Now let's go off to the circle. Click on this. Now if you want to apply an arc, you can select on this dot over here. You can make an arc if you want to. Let's say I want it up till here. Just keep it this way. You can also make the same shape over here. You can rotate it. I'm going to do is take this one over here. And there we go. We have it, right? Then you can also select both of these objects, group them up, and then apply your color. I'm going to click on this option, and you're going to do is select on whichever color you want, but I'm going to do is click on gradients. I'm going to do is apply in couple more. We're going to need a couple more of them at the same time. Now this time I'm going to do is make up my own color. Select on this. Let's say I want red first. Then I'm going to do is select on the next one. I want in a bit of this. On the next one I'm going to do is a bit of this. On the third one I'm going to do is a bit of greenish. And on this one I'm going to do is a bit of maybe a bit more green. And the last one I'm going to do is a bit more, bluish. There we go. We have it. Fix out your transparency. And there we go. We have it, right? I'm going to select on outside. And there we go. We have our pattern. Now you're going to select on this. You can fix out where you want it to be. And select on the other ones. Select on the other tool which you have. Select on this. Click on gradients. And there we go. There we go. We have it. And you go. You can see how this works. We have our third gradient applied. Now let's do the last one. I'm going to do is make sure the radius is also a bit rounded to the corner. Do select on this option, click on this color. Then you're going to do is click on gradients. And I'm going to do is obviously apply in at least 4. I'm going to do is take it over here. You can also drag it from here also. That's like totally up to you. You can also fix in the size. That's up to you, which is also the anchor. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go off to my web browser. From here, I'm going to do is find out something like that looks good, right? I'm going to do is go over here, and I think I kind of like this color, so I'm going to do is take all of these codes. Or you can also take the whole, copy the CSS, copied. What I'm going to do is make sure this is angled perfectly. Okay, I'm going to do is add in a bit more. There we go. I'm going to do the last one to be a bit of this. I'm going to do is copy the CSS. I'm going to take it right over here. Let's type in CSS. Control V, hit on enter, and you can see only one color has been, applied. Because, obviously all the colors were not applied because we have to put the same thing on all of them. Control Z. See all the colors. Well, if it doesn't work, make sure to select each and every one of them. Remove, click on hex, remove, and go off to your web browser. And when you select this code, Control C, just cut this one off. V, hit on enter. You can see the next one. Do the third one, go off to your web browser. I'm going to do is select on this color, Control C, minimize it. V, hit on enter. On the third one, I'm going to do select this color, remove it, go off over here. The next color, Control C, minimize, cut this one off, Control V, hit on enter. The next one is going to be this one. We're going to need another one. Just take it over here, take this one down. Do select on this, remove it, delete. On my web browser, I'm going to do select this one, Control C. I do is paste this, Control V, hit on enter. And the last one I'm going to do is paste it right over here. I'm going to do is take this one, Control C, paste it over here, enter. I'm going to do is fix the angle. You can select the transparency. Do the last one over here. There we go. I'm going to do is fix the angle. There we go. We have it. So I'm going to do is take this one a bit at the top, a bit at the bottom, right over here, a bit over here, and a bit over here. Okay. And I can see that we have 5 colors on this specific, object. Now, what we're going to do is obviously going to copy the whole thing and apply it to another one. So another thing is that on all of these shapes, what we did is use the linear gradient function, or our functionality. But this time, you can also see that when you are using the gradient, there are also other methods. Let's say I'm going to click on this option, or maybe this one looks too good. So I'm going to go over here, click on this option, and from here, you have this linear option. You can see it over here. Now, what if I want something a bit different? Okay, so I'm going to do is cut this one off. I'm going to do select this linear option, which you have. Just take it a bit at the top. You can click on plus, and you can name it. Okay, you can click on linear and what type of, gradient you want. What if I want radial? You can see now it is a bit radial. You can select on this. You'll basically see how it works. You can see this is how it will work. See yellow at the end. Okay. You can also do angular if you want to. You can fix out which angle you want to apply which color to be. You can also do this over here, and there we go. Looks a lot better, right? You can do the same thing on each and every one of these shapes which we have. Click on this option, click on linear. What if I want radial, right? You can see the radial. You can see the angular. You can fix out the angular colors according to your need. You can keep it like this. You can keep it like this. There we go. Looks a lot better, right? Looks a lot good. You can also fix where you want the center to be, because you can see now this is the center. So you can apply the same thing on each and every one of them. Double click outside, and then you can see your, that's been deselected. Let's do the same thing over here. Now this time I want diamond. So I'm going to click on this option, click on diamond. You can see now this has been diamond. So I'm going to do is keep it at the first. I'm going to do zoom in. You can see keep it at over here. You can fix it up like this. I'm going to do is keep it up over here so that it looks, perfect. Just keep it a bit at the top, or maybe a bit over here. This one a bit out, and this one more outer. There we go. See, this looks really good. Okay, not as good as this, linear, but kind of works, right? So this is how you'll be able to play around with, gradients and also apply whichever color you want. Now, even if you don't want to use it, just click on it, click on this option over here, and just click on solid, and then you're good to go. But if you go back to gradient, you don't have to worry, because the same presets or the same customizations will still be there for you to work on from the next one when you are trying to work on it. You can also save it up and use it for a later purpose. Well, we're going to show that to you in our next lesson. So in our next lesson, we're going to learn about the color styles on how you'll be able to apply in colors and all of those. Okay, so hope you learned everything in this lesson about gradients, and also make sure to use this website or web, page you have in your web browser, which is called Gradients, just not the D, okay, Gradients. So you can use it whenever you want, and there are obviously other, you can see CSS Gradient, there's Dribble, there's One Page Love. You can use whichever site you want to use to get your own, inspiration and all. You can use the palettes maybe, and even if you want to use the color palettes, which I use in my previous lesson, make sure to use that. Let's say I have it on page 1, you can use them as gradients, or select different object and make your own type of gradients. So it's like totally up to you. So thank you for watching this video from the beginning to the end, and if you didn't understand a part and if you have any questions, please let us know and I will help you through the whole process. Now let's move on to our next lesson of color styles. Welcome back to another course lesson on Figma. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the color styles and how we can change colors and also copy other colors of any specific object or even components which we have in our, let's say, our layer, or maybe our page, or maybe frame, or shapes. So the first thing we're going to do is open up Figma and start off this lesson. So you can see that I have opened up my Figma. Now here what we're going to do is, just like I said, this is going to be all about the color styles in Figma, right? Now the first thing we're going to do is open up our untitled, which I have over here. Now the first thing after I open up my untitled is going to be, in our previous lesson we've done a couple of things such as applying gradients in our page 2, right? You can see all the gradients which have been applied. Now what if I say that I want the specific photos, or maybe a specific preset applied to the other elements which I'm going to be applying or making right now? Now how do I do that? So first things first, I'm going to do is copy up, this frames which I have over here. I'm going to just click on this, or maybe this one. Let's say I'm going to click on this. I'm going to use Control or Alt, and there we go. We have our shape. I'm going to just remove this. Control C, Control V. Okay, 4 times. So we're going to do is apply 4 of these shapes again. Okay, I'm going to use, most of the time, use the rectangle. Let's say I'm going to use keep it up till here. Control C, Control V most of the time. Hold on to Alt. There we go. C, Alt, and there we go. We have 4 shapes right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. What we're gonna do is make another copy of this. I'm gonna do is increase the size. Press on Alt. Take this to be over here. There we go. We have 3 of these shapes. I'm going to do is hold on to Alt and do the same thing over there. And on each one of them, I'm going to do is make different ones on different, okay? So I'm going to do is hold on to Alt. Okay, let's just copy this whole thing over here so it looks better on each and every one. Obviously, we're going to do is apply, different stuff on different one of them. Let's just not copy it. I'm going to do is make sure that it looks good. There we go. Now we have 4 pages, 4 frames, and also a couple of shapes. Now what I'm going to do is select on them. The first thing I'm going to do is select on this, okay? Then I'm going to do is click on this option over here. Now library, I'm going to just add it up. Now I want to save this specific color type, okay? Well, let's say I'm going to do is type in fade. Now, what is it for? I'm going to do is type in shape. Shape 1. I'm going to do is create the style. And you can see the fade style has appeared over here, right? Now, if I click on this option over here, I'm going to go off the fill, and I'm going to do search up for the library, and you can see there's this option called fade, which I just created. I'm going to click on that, and you can see that specific element has been made over here, or that specific gradient has been applied over here. Right? Now you can also click on it and go off to this option over here. Now you basically won't be able to go through colors and all, because this is, termed as a resource. We can do the same thing on each and every one. We can select on both of them over here. I'm going to click on this color option. I'm going to click on libraries. I'm going to click on fade. You can see it has been applied on all of them. I'm going to just click the radius, the same thing. Okay. And you can see how this basically looks like, right? So all of them have the same color type and same angle on each and every one. Let's do the same thing over here. Let's delete this. And instead I'm going to do is maybe this time I'm going to use this polygon over here. Just obviously make this shape. I'm going to just take this right over here. There we go. Looks good. Then I'm going to do is select this. I'm going to click on this color option. Click on plus. This is going to be polka. What I'm going to do is click on that value. Not that specific value, obviously. I'm going to do is not this specific, just a one color. I'm going to do is click on libraries. Click on plus. Not that specific value. Click on style, and then you're going to change the color. Let's say polka. Description, triangle. Create the style. There we go. We have another one. Let's say I'm going to do the same thing over here. Click on this option. Click on library. Click on style. Let's say this one is going to be sunset. Do is for circles and arcs. Create the style. The last one is going to be for rectangles. I'm going to click on plus, click on styles. I'm going to do is this one is going to be NL, so I can just keep it NL. Now this one is going to be for rectangles, squares. Create the style. I'm going to do is apply all of them right over here. Let's say I'm going to click on this option over here, go off the libraries. I'm going to do is obviously use polka. You can see that has been added over here. The same preset. I'm going to do the same thing over here. This time I'm going to do is remove this, delete. I'm going to do is make a circle. I'm going to do is hold on a shift. There we go. You select on this. Click on fill, go to libraries. I'm going to do is click on sunset. There we go. The last one I'm going to do is keep this, radius a bit circlish. Or maybe I'm going to do is apply the star over here. I'm going to do is take this one over here. I'm going to do is change the color. You can also change the color whenever you want. So this was going to be NL. Okay. I'm going to choose this all of them all together. Select the color, NL. I'm going to do is click on this color over here. I'm going to do is go off the libraries, NL, do the same thing over here. Click on this, go off and select NL. This one I'm going to do is put in a star. So I'm going to click on this option, place in a star. There we go. We're good to go. Looks better. Click on that option. I'm going to do is click on fill, go to libraries, and this one is going to be fade, right? So it looks all better and all of them are the same. Now I can make an arc out of this. See, an arc. I'm going to do is make this like this. You can make an oval. This one I can make it into hexagon or maybe a couple more of them. Well, so I'm going to do is keep it 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see how it looks like. I can also make it into a couple more, 8. Just reduce the shape. You can see how it looks like. See? Now you can also make other changes over here, 6, 5, and how many you want. And when you go to 60, you will basically see that it will turn into a circle. So you have to keep it a bit short. Okay? Let's say I'm going to keep it on 7 or maybe 5 or 6. Okay? Use whichever one you want. You can do the same thing over here. You can fix out the radius. It's up to you. What I'm going to do is click on this and you can see I can make it into a circle. And you can do the same thing over here. You can fix out wherever you want. Which angle you want. And there we go. You basically have it, right? I'm going to just fix this over here. And you can see all of them applied. I'm going to click on this one and fix on sunset. See sunset over here. I'm going to do is click on this option over here. Click on that option. I'm going to do is go off to libraries. Click on sunset. There we go. All of them has been applied. Now, even if you change this one over here, the pattern will still stay the same because this is the one which you saved. Not if you change it, it's not going to change the same as this one. So make sure to use it whenever you want and however you want to, and make sure to save it up, save your preset. Even if you are fixing your angle, you also have to save that preset by clicking on the color, and then you have to click on plus. Then what you're going to do is fix it on. Let's say I'm going to just click on this option over here, click on variable. You can save it up too. So it's like totally up to you how you're going to work with it. So thank you for watching this video up till the end. Hope you understood everything, and let's move on to our next lesson of Figma, where we are going to learn about how we can add photos and also mask them. Welcome back to another lesson on Figma. In this lesson, we're going to show you how you can use images in your file in Figma. After you open up Figma, now we're going to go off to the community and search for maybe a couple of apps or maybe a kit for our mobile or maybe for your desktop. It's like totally up to you. Now I'm going to be using a mobile one because it's just a bit more easier. From here, I'll be selecting the one which I want. Let's say I can use this, right? You can use whichever one you want. I'm going to click on open in Figma, and it's going to take a bit of time to open it up on my Figma workspace. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is go off to overflow our design so that I can get the pages of the specific, you can see how it works. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is find a link so that I can, select the whichever one I want to change the photo of. Now, from here, I'm going to do is go down. Maybe I'm going to use this selected range of, elements or frames. I'm going to do is Control C. I'm going to do is make another file, new design. You can see need more files. We're going to need another one. I'm going to go back to home. I'm going to do is open up my untitled if you can't make up another new one. I'm going to do is add another page. You can see page 3. That is perfect. Do is take it at the bottom, paste it up. You can see all of them has been pasted, and you can see this is how it looks like. Okay. Now, even though a couple of them do not have a background, is because that specific one is black in color. I'm going to do is you can use whichever color you want to use. You can fix out the color. You can fix out whichever one you want. Let's say I'm going to do is select on a specific text, which you can see over here, and you can see a couple of them have the same type of let's say I'm going to do is zoom out first. You can see a couple of them have the specific or the same font or same thing applied 2 times. So I'm going to do select on this specific text. I'm going to do press on Control Z. That one is perfect. That was also perfect. This is also perfect except for this one. Okay, this has been copied 2 times. So I'm going to do zoom in, do zoom in again, do delete it once. I'm going to do is keep it right over here. I'm going to do is keep it at the top. Control Z. I'm going to do is select on this auto layout, which you have over here. You can see auto layout vertical. So I'm going to do is click on this specific one, press on delete. There we go. Now it looks a lot more better, because there was 2 of it at the same time. So I'm going to do is select on any one. Let's say you can see this one is over here is 2 times at the same time. Delete. You can see now how it looks like. Keep it over here. There we go. Delete. You can see how it looks like. A lot better. Now, the one thing I'm going to do is, as this layout is about, how we can apply in photos or use photos, now I'm going to do is, you can see there are a couple of photos over here, which I can change or customize or modify. Now, one thing about this is that first thing you're going to do is zoom in. I'm going to do select on this, go off the fill, go off to this image option, and you can see this is the photo. Now, I can change the photo if you want to, but I don't have any photos right now. So I'm going to go off to my web browser and use, or let's say I'm going to go off to my resource file, and then you can apply whichever photo you want. Now, what I'm going to do is click on over here, choose image, click on this option. What I'm going to do is go off to my desktop where I have my Figma resources. Now here I have my photos, click on open, and you can see that specific photo has been applied. What I'm going to do is remove this specific photo, which I have. What I'm going to do is remove it out of here. Press on delete, just take this one over here. What I'm going to do is click on the specific image which I have, just make it visible. Okay, so I'm going to do is take this out right now. Just make sure this is totally visible. You can see it. I'm going to do is click on this option. I wanted to make it 100% visible, so I'm going to do is right click on it and make sure to bring it to the front. You can see it will be like this. But if it's not that visible, I'm going to do is make sure that, this layer isn't that, I'm going to right click on it. So I'm going to go off the effects, or maybe I'm going to click on this pass through layer. Let's say not that. I'm going to just type in 100%. You're going to click on this option over here and paste it where you need it to paste. Okay. So now you know how you'll be able to apply in photos in specific places. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to first off take this specific thing off, delete this photo off. I'm going to click on that photo over here, click on that image. I'm going to do is choose another image. I'm going to do is press on OK, and you can see the photo has been replaced, and this is how it will look like. Now you can do the same thing on other ones, on each and every one you have over here. Let's say I'm going to do is apply in a different color. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do is first off click on this untitled option over here. I'm going to go off on this one. Let's say I'm going to do is go off to page 3, which I have, or where I have my result. I'm going to do is apply in a new map over here so that I can apply it whenever I want it to. You can see that there is a vast amount of, there's a big photo underneath it, but it's not that visible because, it's underneath it. And we're obviously going to show you how you can embed photos in the next lesson. Okay. But basically, this is how you change photos from, time to time. You can do the same thing over here. You can take this specific photo or specific one off, delete. You can delete it up. You can select on the specific December 24, which you have over here. And just click on that option. And you can put in another photo. Click on this option over here. Click on place image. Now you can select whichever photo you want. Let's say I'm going to use one from my previous, lesson. Let's say this one. I'm going to do is press on open. I'm going to do is you can click our place over here. There we go. We have it. You can see that photo has been applied on that specific area. And it looks quite good, right? You can see how this works. You can place it wherever you want. And there we go. So this is basically how you use an image in, let's say Figma. Now, first thing is that there are a couple of images which you can use, but you have to keep one thing in mind is about the licenses and, let's say copyrights. Now, there are a couple of websites on the internet that you can download photos from, but, I would suggest you not to use whichever one you get. So in this lesson, I'm also going to be showing you where you can get those photos, which are royalty free. So let's go off to a web browser. On the screen, you can see that I have opened up my web browser. From here, I'm going to do search in for pixels.com. So this is a royalty-free site where you can download photos and use whichever photo you want. But obviously there is also some licensing because this is also a site, right? When you click on license, you will basically see all about the licenses of the specific site, which we have is Pixels, and what are the privacy, what are the copyrights, and all of those. You can click on license and then go, fiddle with it, maybe look through a couple of agreements and, policies which you can work on or which you can download, and what type of photos you can use on which, for what reason. Okay. You can also click on any specific image and go down, and you can see a couple of the related photos will also appear here. You can directly edit in in Canva, like it, collect it. You can download it. You can also see that you can like select any size of the photo. You can also customize the size of the resolution and download the select size of that specific photo. Okay, so it depends up to you how you're gonna work with it, where you're gonna download it from. Then there are a couple of sites such as Shutterstock and all of those. It requires sign up and all of those, but this site does not need, because this is totally royalty free. And if you use websites such as Shutterstock, well, it's going to be a bit of hassle, because they have a couple of agreements that you cannot use a couple of photos from there. So I would suggest you to use this, or maybe there is also another site which is called Splash. You can also use that. Let's type in Splash, hit on enter, and you can see this is Unsplash, basically, my bad. So you can also use this Unsplash. So this is also basically royalty free, but there are also a couple of photos which are going to be from Adobe. I would suggest you not to do that. You can see there are a couple of photos which you'll not be able to download. So you can use these two sites to download your photos and apply directly to your Figma so that you can work on with it. Let's say I'm going to do is download one photo from there and apply it directly over here. I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to take this photo. I'm going to just click on download. It's going to take a bit of a time to download it up. You can see say thanks and give a shout out and all of those. We're going to wait a bit of time so that it downloads up. And then I'm going to do is take that photo and apply it directly over on our Figma. Now I'm going to just click on that specific photo which I have. I'm going to just click on this specific photo. I'm going to click on this choose image. I'm going to do is first off go down and find out that photo, click on open, and you can see, you'll basically see that photo will be opened over here. Okay, so hope you understood everything about this lesson on how you'll be able to use images in Figma. Okay, now another thing is that when you're clicking on this and clicking on image or video, you have to select which photo you want to use, press on open, just like we did on this one, and you will basically see your cursor will turn into a pointer so that you can apply the photo however you want. Okay, so hope you understood everything about this lesson on Figma, on how you'll be able to apply photos in Figma. So let's move on to our next lesson, where we are going to learn about masking. Then we're going to learn about other stuff such as cropping and also image
Welcome
plugins.
back
to another lesson on Figma. In this lesson, we are going to learn about masking, cropping, and also plugins of images. So let's open up Figma. You can see from here that I have opened up Figma. Now I'm going to do is open up this specific untitled file which I've been using in my previous lessons. Now, just like I said, in this lesson, we are going to learn about masking images, cropping them up, and also how we can use image plugins. Now, how do we do that? First off, let's start off with masking. I'm going to do is click on page 2, which I have over here, or maybe page 3. So I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to remove each and every one of them, delete. I'm going to click on layers or maybe frames. I'm going to do is Control C, Control V a couple of times. So I have 4 frames. What I'm going to do is just delete, one of them. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is apply in a couple of shapes. And the second one I'm going to do is Control Z. I'm going to do is just remove this because I don't need that, small. I'm going to do is keep it somewhere around over here. I'm going to click on rectangle. Is what I want, and I'm going to keep one blank. Now, what I'm going to do is mask a photo over here. Then I'm going to do is crop this image onto this specific shape which I have. And on the first one I'm going to do is show you a couple of plugins. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is, we already know after seeing our previous lesson on how you'll be able to apply or use images, right? Now, what I'm going to do is first off apply in a photo, place embed. Now I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to use this photo which I used in my previous lesson. I'm going to do is select on this photo, and there we go, we have it. Now I'm going to do is, I want this photo to be inside of this specific circle. Now, how do I do that? So if you want to do that, what you're going to do is, first off, I'm going to do is shorten this up a bit so that I can see it. Now, the first thing you're going to do is select both of these shapes. After selecting on both of these shells, you can right click on it. And you can also, use as mask, or you can press on this option over here, which you have. Click on that option and you can see that it is masked. You can select on the image now. You can increase the size from which angle you want, or which, angle you want that photo from. You can see it looks quite good, right? You You can see this is basically how you mask that object. Now you can click on it, press on Ctrl G, and now this has turned into a group. You can still double click on it, and you can change the image, change how it looks like, change the contrast, change the saturation, change the temperature. You can see it looks quite good. Just change the highlights or maybe increase it a bit and fix the shadow. There we go. You can see the photo looks totally different from how it was, right? Even though it looks quite good. So this is basically how you mask up images. You can do the same thing over here on this one. Let's take the same photo, click on that option, or maybe I'm gonna do is use this photo, do select on this and make that photo over here. I'm gonna do select on both of these elements, click on this option, and there we go, we have it. Increase the size. Even though if you increase the size, it's not gonna get out of that shape because this is masked. This exact shape is taking the outline that except or let's say outside its boundary, that photo cannot be shown. So now you know how you'll be able to mask out objects. Now before that, or let's say after that, as we're done with mask, let's learn about how we can crop up images. Now when you click on that option, you basically have this option of fill, fit, crop, tile. Now I'm going to do is apply this specific photo again over here. I'm going to click on this option, click on this option and click on place image video. I'm going to click on this option. I'm going to do is apply that photo. Now I want that specific photo to be a bit smaller. I don't want this part. I want this part to be cut out. So I'm going to click on this image option, click on this fill and find out crop. Now you'll basically see these corners. You can fix them up according to your need. Let's say I'm going to do is need up till here. I'm going to need up till here. I'm going to do is cut this part off. I'm going to do is press on enter and there we go. Our photo has been cropped. Now if you want to fit it up, you can also fit it up. It's up to you. You can double click on it, click on image again, and you can also tile it up if you want to. You can see now there are 2 of them or 4 of them at the same time because it is tiled up, right? You can see 50%. I'm going to type in 20%, hit on enter, and you can see this is how it will look like. So it's up to you how you're going to fill it up or how you're going to work with it. Now you know how you'll be able to use, masking it up and also how you can crop up images by using the Figma tools. Now, if you want to use plugins, you can see this option called resources called plugins, right? Nothing tried or saved yet. Now, there are a couple of, plugins which are photo related. You can see iMockup, Frame Wave, Noise, and all of those. But from there, what you're going to do is, just like I said, we need royalty-free, sites. And Unsplash is also turned as a plugin. So you can search in Unsplash. You can see Unsplash is over here. Click on Run, and Unsplash will directly run on your, let's say, on your workspace. Okay? So basically that is how you can use image plugins on your workspace while you're working simultaneously on Figma. Now, it's like an extension or an add-in, okay? So you don't have to worry about it, that it might take some extra space or not, but it will just directly apply on your Figma and you can work on it both at the same time. So you don't have to get out of Figma to your web browser and use Unsplash, okay? So you can just, run Unsplash whenever you want. It's, just like this, okay? Now, let's say I want to use this image, click on that image, and that image will be applied over here. It will take a bit of a time to load that image up, and then you can directly apply that image directly on your frame or your page in Figma. You can see that has been applied. Now I'm going to do is select this photo, choose the image. I'm going to do is, instead of that, I'm going to take this image over here. I'm going to do is delete. I'm going to do is take this image over here. I'm going to do is right click or select on both of them. Click on mask, and there we go, we have it. Do is increase the size. You can see how it looks like. So hope you understood everything about this lesson on how you can mask up, how you can crop up images, and also about image plugins in Figma. So let's move on to our class projects in this course of Figma UI UX Design. Welcome to class project 1 in Figma. The name of our class project is how to use gradients and apply the same preset on another shape. Now, in our description, we have is by using the gradient option, you can make beautiful looking components on your UI. Copying the same preset you used on a component is also very important. Now, let's see the couple of steps we have to do in this class project. We're going to do is open up Figma. We're going to open up a new file. We're going to make a triangle shape, and then we're going to do is apply gradients with 3 colors on the triangle shape. And then what we're going to do is make a preset of the color from the triangle and apply it on the circle. Okay, so in our outcome, learning how to use gradients helps you to make your UI look attractive, and if the other components are different, it doesn't look that good. Therefore, the library in Figma helps you to save them and use it as a resource. So let's open up Figma and see how this will work. Now I'm going to do is follow the first step. I'm going to open up a new file. You can see it over here that I already have my new file on my first, page or the first interface. Now, what we're going to do is obviously make a frame before putting in my triangle, which I'm going to be using. I'm going to Control C, Control V so that I have 2 frames at the same time. Now, just like I said, I'm going to be using a shape over here by following the step. Now I'm going to be doing is making in a triangle, which is a polygon. Over here, I'm going to do is make the triangle. There we go. We have it. And what I'm going to do is apply in gradients. So I'm going to click on this option, click on fill, click on gradients, and there we go. I'm going to apply another one. There we go. I'm going to do is click on this one first. I'm going to do is make it red. Second one should be a bit yellowish, and the third one should be a bit bluish. Just make it a bit more visible. Looks better. You can increase it over here. I'm gonna do is make sure it is cornered like this. Okay. Now, as we have our preset ready or our gradients has been applied, we're going to do is save it up. So I'm going to click on this over here, click on style. I'm going to do is type in convo, create the style. There we go. We're going to use this linear option, which we are using over here. And then on this next frame, I'm going to do is click on over here, click on ellipse, which is going to be our circle. There we go. We have it. Now, this is the last step. We're going to do is use the same preset over here on the circle. So I'm going to click on this, click on fill, libraries, and I have convo over here. And there we go. We have the same preset applied on the circle too. Now I can change this over here. Okay, I'm going to click on this. You can change the linear, or maybe I'm going to click on linear. Maybe I want to use the same thing, but I want radial. You can try angular if you want to. You can also try diamond, but I'm going to do is use angular this time. So I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to do is select on this color option, which I have. Click on this option. I'm going to do is take the circle over here. Just take it at the center. There we go. I'm going to do is take this over here so it is a perfect circle. Then I'm going to do is make sure the blue is over here. This is over here, and this one stays over here. Okay, so we have all of the colors and it looks quite good. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Select on the specific, item. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to do is fix this up. Keep it at the center. There we go. Better. Keep it over here. There we go. Looks quite good. So after you're done with this, what you're going to do is make sure to save this whole thing up, or you can share it up, and you can also take screenshots and make sure to upload it in our project panel so that we can see it. And if you didn't understand a part, and if you have any questions about it, please let us know and we'll guide you through the whole process. Now, let's move on to our next class project. Welcome back to class project 2 on Figma. The name of this class project is how to prototype and use smart animation. Well, we have attached in a description and also an outcome. So in our description, we have is by using the prototype feature, you can link pages from one to another. It works the same way as hyperlinks, but on components and even text. Smart animation makes the transition of pages or the transition look smooth. Now let's go to our steps. On our first step, we're going to open up Figma. Then we're going to do is open up a new file. In our third step, we're going to make a rectangular button in a frame. In step 4, we're going to make another frame and apply some content in it. In step 5, we're going to prototype the button with the other frame with component and animate it. So the outcome is learning how to use prototype helps you to link up pages or links. It is like a connection of frames when you put the command on a specific UI. The smart animation makes the transition from one frame to another smoother. So let's open up Figma and start off with our class project. And after the class project is done, or after you're done, make sure to upload it to our project panel. After you can take, a screenshot of your work, or maybe save that work or share that work with us, and we'll obviously be happy to see them. And you should do it because we will help you through this class project. Okay, so even if you have any question after this class project, please let us know and we will help you through the whole process. You can see that I have opened up Figma. I'm going to do is open up a design file or a new design file. I'm going to click on Oni's team. There we go. Then I'm going to do is, first off, in a frame, I'm going to do is make a rectangular button, right? Click on that. I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to change this color into maybe a bit like this, or maybe, a bit bluish. There we go. Looks better. Then I'm going to do is make a rectangular button. I'm going to click on over here. Let's say I'm going to do is put in a bit of text too so that I can use it. Click here. I'm going to do select this text. What I'm going to do is make it center aligned, keep it auto height, and there we go. We have it. Then I'm going to do is make sure that specific text is at the center. I'm going to do is make sure to select both of them and Control G. It has turned into a shape. Now I'm going to do is, as we have our rectangular button over here, I'm going to do is make another frame. I'm going to click on over here. I'm going to do is make another frame. There we go. I'm going to select on this. I'm going to click on this color option, and I'm going to do is change the color a bit like this. Totally fine. Then I'm going to do is apply in a couple of components, right? Just like I said. I'm going to do is use maybe a photo. Let's say I'm going to use one photo from our previous lesson on this course. Maybe I'm going to do is apply in this specific photo which I have. But let's say I'm going to discard this. I'm going to do is do a bit of, a bit customization, but this is totally optional. So it's like totally up to you if you're going to do it or not. But I want to do it because I just want to make it a bit better, looking a bit better. I'm going to press on OK, open it up. What I'm going to do is make sure to use it. Click on both of these elements. I'm going to mask it up. There we go. Now I'm going to do select on this frame 2, which I have. And if you want to select the frame, make sure to hold on the control and you'll be able to select frames. But if you select on like this, you will not be able to select in frames. Click on Alt and there we go. I'm going to do is click on Alt. I'm going to do is change the color maybe into something like this. Okay. I'm going to do is fix out the transparency. Or maybe full transparency. It's up to me. Then I'm going to do is, obviously I'm going to do is make sure that this one is connected to this one. I'm going to do is prototype it. Now I'm going to click on prototype. Select on this. There we go. We have it. Now, just like I said, even though this is prototype, I'm going to do is get a preview first. Now this one I'm going to do is get a preview. Now it's going to wait. I'm going to wait for a bit so that I can see how it works. Then I'm going to do is click on this, button and see if it has been prototyped well. You can see it is perfectly done. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to do is click on this option over here. I'm going to do is make another ellipse tool. And then I'm going to do is click on this shape, and then I'm going to click on arrow. Control Z. Click on this. Control Z. I'm going to click on maybe, let's just make a line. I'm going to do is go off the design. Maybe I'm going to do is change the color a bit first. I'm going to do is right click on it and bring to front. I'm going to remove it and see if it works. Okay, if it doesn't, I'm going to do is make that shape over here on this ellipse over here. Okay, now it is working like this, but I don't want it to mask. So I'm going to do is click on this option over here. And there we go. Right click on it. And what I'm going to do is bring to front. Maybe use this mask. Right click on it. I'm going to do is click on this option over here. There we go. Now I'm going to do is click on this prototype and it will take me back. Okay. Now I'm going to do is see the preview. See? This is how it will work. Now I'm going to do is apply in smooth animates. I'm going to click on this first, or I'm going to click on instant smart animates. I'm going to type in 800 so it is smoother. Now I want it on click, so I'm going to keep it on click. Do the same thing over here. Click on this option, click on smart animates, type in 800. There we go. And we're basically done. Now we're going to get a preview. I'm going to click on over here. Make sure to select on preview. Just click on here. You can see how smooth it is. You can see how it works. Right? It works really well. You can also get in presentation mode. Now you can see the whole thing in presentation, but this doesn't work over here. Now you can also see how the prototype works. Okay. So I've already give you a lesson on the difference about, the present and preview. But one thing is that even if you apply the prototypes and apply the animations and all of those, it will still be visible. So you don't have to worry about, going through different ones, and seeing it. You always have to see on preview. It's not that. Okay. So you can also see the same things on, your presentation or present. You can see there is also this keyboard shortcut which you can work on with it, and basically there are other stuffs too. Okay, so we followed all the steps, and also we've made our animation, and also about how we can prototype. So hope you learned everything, and after you're done, make sure to maybe select or press, or maybe take a screenshot or share this file with us in our project panel so that we can see it. And if you have any question, or maybe if you fell into some hassle or it doesn't work, please let us know and we'll guide you through the whole process. And I want to thank you again for staying with us or watching these videos from the beginning to the end. So I want to thank you all, and stay well, and see you in my next course.